A 59-year-old man is charged with attempted murder after a nearly 24-hour standoff in Ontario's Niagara region, during which an officer was shot. Niagara Regional Police say Daniel Tronco was arrested shortly after 7:30 this morning local time. Officers established a perimeter after they say he holed up in a Welland, Ontario church beginning around 8 a.m. Friday. One officer was hospitalized after being shot in an exchange of gunfire, but has since been released. A shelter-in-place order as well as local road closures have now been lifted, and the Ontario Special Investigations Unit is looking into the shooting. None of the charges have been tested in court. Let's now bring in Chris Lewis, a CTV News public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner. Chris, good evening and thank you for your time.
My pleasure, Akshay.
In your view, how do you think the police handled and managed this entire situation?
Well, we don't know all the details. We certainly know most of them, but we don't know a lot of the intelligence information around him, what kind of weaponry he had, etc. In the meantime, they did the traditional contain and negotiate and arrest. Nobody was additionally shot after the poor police officer was wounded. They didn't have to take his life. They eventually got him to give himself up. And so that's inconvenient for all the people in that area that had roads closed and couldn't get out of their homes. But at the same time, it ended without any further bloodshed.
Yes, but you would agree, though, Chris, it did turn very scary when we heard about the officer being shot. Thankfully, she was out of the hospital with minor injuries. It could have gone horribly wrong, as we know. But what's your takeaway, and what do officers learn from this when handling such a situation?
Well, they'll analyze, as they always do in situations like this, what were they faced with? How did they respond? What did they do? Did they follow policy and training? Who was in charge and things like that? And I mean, just because somebody was shot, that doesn't mean the police made a mistake, ultimately. So we can't consider a wounded police officer an error on the part of the police. So when they analyze all those facts, they'll make a determination if there's something to be learned, and that'll be communicated among their officers and to other police services, so everybody's on the same page.
Now, we know that the SIU is investigating this particular instance surrounding the shooting of this officer as well. But how is that investigation, Chris, really going to proceed? Tell us a little more.
Well, what SIU's role is to determine whether the police committed any criminal acts. They didn't hit the suspect, to my knowledge, so there's no serious bodily harm caused to him, but they did fire ammunition at him. So that requires then SIU conduct an investigation into that use of force, even though he wasn't hurt. And that's a change in the SIU legislation that came about a couple of years back. Otherwise, they'd only investigate if, in fact, police hurt him or killed him. In the meantime, I can't imagine there was any criminal charges to be laid against the police in relation to this, but that's SIU, and that's what they have to do. That's their mandate.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for today then. Chris Lewis, CTV News public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner. Chris, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Akshay.